Longevity, understanding, and integrity. Me and you, we on the road. Progressive, self-discovery. Got a lot to learn in this life, and I'm excited. Gonna do it, my people like mine. Yeah. How you gonna reboot when you need reboot? How you gonna reboot? A reboot.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to today's edition of reBOOT.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. And we are here with Lena and with Shelly Welly. Come on, ladies. Go ahead and let it flow. Let it flow. Good afternoon to you. Come on
Well,
and
good afternoon. It's a wonderful Friday. I'm feeling good. I'm excited to be here with y'all. How's everybody? Shelly, how you doing today?
I'm good. It's been a
Yes,
great week. Gotten a lot of things done, preparing for some travel, and things are going good. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's been a really good week for me. I've been resting. I've been planning. I've been thinking about how to reboot things in my life. I'm having a good week actually. I'm excited to be here. We got some good stuff to talk about today. Hey, Gene, tell me how's your week been?
my week has been phenomenal. And I just want to say good afternoon. I see you, truck driver. I love you. There's Mufasa. Come on in the room. Good afternoon to you. Stacy 546. Come on in. It's so great to see you. Royal Confessions. Come on with the confession, sis. You know what's up and reboot. Mel Holiday, you told me you were going to do your best to get back here this afternoon. I want to appreciate you for making it back for our young lions. Jonna CPW, girl, you know you my lady. I just love you and thank you. I know you're gonna jump in this conversation with our young lions on today, Shelly, Welly, and Lena. They got something for you, and I'm looking forward to you having some good conversation with them as well. BTD Mom and Anita Harvey in the room. Come on, come on, come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go. It's gonna be a good day today, and I'm excited about what they have to share with us on this afternoon. Rebel, I see you out there. I can't ever forget you. Last but certainly not least, I appreciate you even for the modding and taking care of business, getting us going, getting everybody in the stream and situated. I see you,
Yes.
Pastor Damon. Come on in the room. Damon Blissett in the house. Damon Blissett in the house. Oh, yeah, we had a preaching Friday morning. We getting ready to get live, though, with these sisters. As I always say, this content may possibly be raw content and it might be rated R. I hope that you can hold on to your clutches and your pearls and your weaves and your wigs. If it's too strong for you, you might have to step out for a minute, and that's all right. We'll still love on you because these young lions, they just gonna bring it like a TIZ tiz, and we want them to do it that way. So I see you, SK8843. I see you in the house. That's right, Mel. Put your seatbelts on. We won't throw you too far. Lock yourself in, belt yourself in. That's what you need to do. You know, after when we grew up, you just rode anywhere in the car. You didn't have to have a child seat. You didn't have to have a seat belt. It's
Uh-uh.
2021. Put your seatbelts on because the girls are Janae Patrice Smith. Come on with it, girl. Come on, Janae. I see you out there. Good to see you, baby. It is
Hello,
so good to
hello.
see you. And I hope that you're going to reboot. That's my world right there for you, Lena. Go ahead, take it away.
Okay, so as a lot of our chat knows, we started a topic last week. Our topic was learn from the past, live in the present, excuse me, and learn for the future. So that was our topic, and we got a pretty good amount of it talked about, but we want to kind of bring it on around for this topic today. We're going to start. Actually, what I would like to do is for us to give a recap of how we feel and what we take from the future. I mean, excuse me, from the past, from our last topic. So, Shelly, you give us a recap of what your thoughts were for our last podcast, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, man. Last week was busy. Well, first I
Mhm.
want to say thank you to everybody who returned this week. I
Thank you.
know
Thank
last
you.
week was a little rough around the edges with some technical
Just a
difficulties,
tad,
but we made it.
a tad.
And we're here and we appreciate the support regardless. And I love this. I love that we're
Mhm.
still
Mhm.
making content. So last week, basically, I mean, there was a lot said. I think the
A lot.
ultimate thing is when we're learning from the past, we have to be able to acknowledge ourselves and be able to prepare ourselves for the next move that we're going to make. So,
Mhm.
whatever experience, basically, what we said was whatever experiences we go through, we have to go through them and get through them. We can't just kind of
Mhm.
leave them dwindling and dwelling as we prepare ourselves to live in the present and prepare for the future. We kind of touched on the present topic as well, but
Just a
I'm
tad.
excited to get back into it today. But yeah, when you're learning
Okay.
from the past, make sure you're taking accountability. Make sure you're settling things so you can forgive but not forget.
Forgive and not
We
forget.
all know that term.
And it's important to know because it's
Hmm.
easy to forget sometimes, especially when you forgive somebody and 2 months down the line everything's going great, and you put things at the back of your mind, and then something comes up and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have never forgot this. No,
Yeah, yeah. I remember. I remember who you
I
are.
remember who you are. So this time around,
Hmm.
I'm going to protect my beautiful self. Okay.
Nothing
Exactly.
wrong with it.
Exactly.
I think
Ain't
I
nothing
kind of
wrong with it.
I think I kind of took away the same as Shelly from when we were speaking about for the past and forgiveness and things of that nature. But I think for my overall, it would be just the things that I feel like are mistakes, or I look back in hindsight and I'm like, man, I could have did that much differently. Don't necessarily see them as mistakes, but see them as learning moments and see them as
Hmm.
an opportunity to really just do better or do differently and be able to adjust and adapt to situations and go forward. I think life is all about growth. And if you
Yep.
keep that mindset, nothing should really be a negative, right? So everything that happens in
Right.
our life should never really be like a you know a stop. It should be an obstacle, but it's something we're gonna get over. So that's what
Exactly. Who said
that's
it? If I ever took a loss, I learned a lesson. I don't
hey,
even. I know the lyric, but I have no
I don't
idea who
know.
said
Was
it.
it Drake? Was it that kind of sound like something he
Maybe it
said?
was Drake.
Comments, does any
If
of our
I ever,
viewers know who that is? Sing one more time, Shelly. If
if
I
I ever
ever
took a loss, I learned a lesson. And then I think it goes, I won't ever think I'm better than the next one.
Hey,
Something. I
who
can't
said
remember the whole
that?
thing.
We don't know. But you know what? It's not about the artist. It's about the wisdom
Come
that
on.
he's throwing out there for all of us to take. You see what I'm saying?
Spit that
So
truth.
if anybody knows who that is, then put it in the comments so we can know, because that's important. But
Right.
Angine, do you have what are some things like your recap of what we were talking about the past from the last podcast?
Somebody said it's Drake. I see you out there. Somebody said it's Drake. Well, and I'm agree with everything that you all said.
Certified lover
Come on,
boy
truck driver.
himself.
That's my Mufasa. Mufasa. That's my lion in the room. Come on, truck driver. Get us on it. He said it's Drake. And I think to kind of piggyback with everything that you all said, I agree with your recap. And what we said even this morning in the podcast kind of parallels what you all are saying in the regard that, we're moving away from this idea of, oh, this was bad or this was good. We had a situation that happened in our Yes You O Cube session this morning where a troll came in. And as we ended up the conversation, and the thought is, instead of seeing everything as good and bad, right, wrong, whatever, we're trying to help people to understand if there was something, you hear somebody say, oh, why are bad things always happening to me?
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at them as tools. These are tools that came into my space. These are tools that brought something to me to learn, to grow, to have, to work with. So
Mm-hmm.
then I'm fully equipped. If I got a whole lot of tools, instead of seeing it as, oh, all this bad stuff that keeps happening in my life, I can really see it as I'm fully equipped. I got all kind of tools in here. I got
All kinds.
all kinds of tools are in here.
And,
Something for me to work with.
and then if I like to look at it as this, if you've been through something and you made it through, the next thing you go through should be easier because you already know I've been through the fire,
Come
through
on.
the wind and through the wall. You've already been through it.
Come
So
on.
it's like it
Hmm.
gives you like a sense of like power. I've been through
Yep.
some stuff. So whatever's coming next, I'm ready for you. It's
It's
just that
empowerment.
simple.
It's
It's
it
that
is
simple.
it's empowerment. And I got tools not only for the present, but when y'all start talking about planning for the futures, I got tools for now. I got tools for later too, baby.
Uh-oh, come on with your toolbox. What color is your toolbox, Nadine?
Tools out. Get your tools out.
Get your tools out. You need it. Okay. Well, that was our recap from, what we learned from the past. And we're kind of going to go into the present. How do we deal with the present? But before we get to talking about the present, we have a new segment for you guys. And we want you guys to participate with us. And we're going to talk about some things. Our segment is called This or That. Yeah. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to go through a list of things, and there are two options. And so you're going to tell us in the comments, you're going to comment, which would you prefer? Which one would you do? This or that? Okay. Y'all ready for this?
Yes.
All right. Well, the first one is we're talking about this or that. We're talking about the future. We're talking about the present. The first one is do you save for retirement or do you go on Medicaid at 65? Which would y'all do? What are y'all plans for the future? Talking about the future now.
So wait, you can't do both? I feel like I should be able to do both. I want all my coins.
Shelly, this is this or that. So you probably can't do both. Okay, so let me rephrase it. So would you put more eggs in the basket of retirement, or would you put more eggs in the basket of, okay, I know I've been working since I was 15. I'm just gonna wait till I get 65 and I'll get on the Medicaid and that'll take care of me.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Because
Yeah.
okay, because there are those people who like either can't or just don't have a 401k right now. So
Mm-hmm.
it kind of along those lines where it's like, are you preparing with a retirement account like a Roth or a 401k,
Mm-hmm.
or are you just banking on whatever's left in Social Security?
Right. And then this is my question. Who how do you learn about saving for the future? Because is this something that I feel like it's a lot of people don't get a lot of knowledge about it, or they wait until, okay, I'm 35. I feel like I should start saving for my retirement. But really, I think if you're saving for retirement, you should probably start at 18, even as early as you can. That's how I feel. But I feel like a lot of people don't have knowledge about things of that nature, 401ks, retirement plans, investments, things like that.
Yeah, that's true. And also, I don't know if a lot of the 18-year-old jobs are offering the money to be saving.
Well,
I
I
mean, if we're being realistic, a lot of those jobs are just giving you the money to barely survive.
mhm. Yeah, and
So
I
I
know
get
people
there's double sides to this coin for sure. What do you think? What are you doing?
well, I know people who, have jobs and the jobs offer 401k, but since people don't know about it or don't understand what it is, they don't want to, they rather have all their money right now, don't put any money to the side and just not use it. And it's like,
Real funny story
okay.
related to that. My grandma is super old school, and she's been at her job almost 30 years. Yeah, my age. So she got hired when I was a baby. So almost 30 years. And she was paying into her 401k at first, and then she said right around her mid 30s she was like, they're taking too much money.
Oh Lord.
They're taking too much of my money, and she cut it off. And so now it's time for her to retire. And this is actually probably about 8, 9 years ago.
Mm.
She was gearing up, to get into the final stages of retirement. And my grandpa was like, well, what's going on with your 401k? She was like,
Uh-oh.
oh, I cut it off a long time ago. They were taking too much
Uh-oh.
money. And he just cracked up and he was like, it's your money. They were taking it and putting it up for you.
That's it. They
Which
not
was
spending.
super funny.
Well, they probably, the people who are holding the 401ks are probably making investments off the money that's just sitting there. But it's like it's your money and it's for you when you cannot work. It's for you when you're tired of working.
Mm-hmm.
We have a comment from
Later
Stacy.
on.
Exactly. A comment from Stacy 546 said, if I would have known, I would have known, I would have started saving at 15.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
100%. 100%. Because you can save more. You can save more the earlier you start. And it could be a more larger lump sum. In the way that things are climbing now, you know, it's expensive, especially at 65. People are living to their 80s and 90s. So you have to think about
Mm-hmm.
money that's going to help you survive for 40 years, if you know what I mean, at least 20 or 30 years where you're not going to be able to work. So
Absolutely.
I think most of the
Yep.
people said saving. I
Yeah.
said,
Okay. Go. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
no,
I was
what were we
going
going to
to
say?
check there, Lena.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
so like this is my mentality, and of course hindsight is 2020.
Hmm.
But this is my mentality at this age and stage of life because I know friends that were banking on something else, and now the question is, I can't stop at 65. I got to go to 67 if I want to get my full amount and all this kind of stuff. Folks are broke down, tired, and everything else, but they got to keep working because they trying to get that little extra coin. But this is something that I think we need to address, and I'm gonna get in and out with this comment. Um,
Hmm.
Saving is a mindset and a discipline. It has nothing to do with how much money you have coming in. And
This.
so we need to talk about financial literacy. And
Mhm.
financial literacy starts with Shelly's got three beautiful children. When those three beautiful children get coins that come into their possession, they need to learn not to spend every single coin. They need to
Mhm.
learn how to put a coin to the side so
Exactly.
that they'll always have a mindset that says, I don't spend everything that I get. This becomes the problem because then even when you start talking about whether or not people's jobs pay them enough money, but we waste a lot of money. We
Amen.
get rid of a lot of disposable income, whether we can afford it or not. The
Mhm.
difference is our mindset. Do I spend everything that comes in? For every penny that comes in, does every penny go right back out? That's the
Mhm.
problem. So
Mhm.
whether you're doing it with the 401k, and I heard Shelly say some of the jobs at 18 may not have a 401k. You still have the ability to be your own 401k. You can still take that money and set it to the side. It's not just a matter of, oh, they don't take it out of my job. And it's not, a before tax situation, it's not the same benefit. But the benefit is don't spend every daggone penny that you make and put some to the side, and you'll always have something regardless. So, and then, that whole saving concept to me is a mindset, not so much a matter of how much you make.
Now, my question
Hmm.
is, how do you grow that mindset? This is from somebody who has the issue with saving. How do
Hmm.
you grow that? How do you learn save your money? Save your money.
Man, it's hard. I don't think, I mean, I think that it's one of those things that you really have to, it's like anything, you really have to commit to, and it takes a lot of self discipline. I mean,
Hmm.
there's a reason why I still have a gut right now, too, because listen, the gym sounds nice,
So,
but it takes a lot of self discipline to get in there
yes.
regularly and eat regularly, eat right regularly.
Mhm.
But I will say, um, the financial aspect is something that I've been really concerned with because I want to make sure, and I think it's different depending on circumstances, but I do want to make sure that I leave a legacy, not just financial, but also a legacy of independence and hard work
Mhm.
and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
So it's just
Okay.
something that I just told myself I have to do. And
Yeah.
once you really start, it becomes easy. It becomes easy to say, no, I'm not going out tonight, or no, I'm not eating out tonight because
Oh.
I got other things I want to do in the long term.
Yeah. Yeah.
Truck driver 57 said, when I got my first job, I started my job. I started. My uncle told me to pay myself, and I started with $1, and I have made an increase.
There you
So I
go.
think his advice is to start small. So like you can save $1 out of each paycheck, and then that doesn't seem like a lot, but it's the idea is to start the habit. So then once you start the habit, you can increase it $5, $10, $20, and you don't look
Mm-hmm.
at the money. This is another advice. Don't look at the money you're saving. Because if you look
Right.
at it, you're gonna think you have, oh, I'll just pull 100 for this. Oh, I'll just pull, and you're gonna end up without any money by the end of the year. Don't look at the money you're saving,
Mm-hmm.
just put it away. Oh, I have a good story for that. So there's a lady by the name of Lisa Nichols, and she is a motivational speaker. And y'all should look her up. She's great. But she was saying when she wanted to become a motivational speaker full time, she didn't have the money. So what she did was she got an account, and she just would write herself a check every paycheck, and she would put the money in the account. and she would keep increasing it, just put it in the account. She never looked at it, and it had been maybe like 2 or 3 years. She just would put the money in the account. That's it. And so she said, like after 3 years, she went to check the balance, and she had saved like something like $60,000, sixty or
Mm-hmm.
$70,000.
Mm-hmm.
And so she said from that point on, she had a lump sum to where she could actually chase the dream. She had a son, and she can actually support them while she's growing her dream and her business. So that's good
Mm.
advice. Thank you. Mel Holiday said to hide it. Just hide it.
You'd be surprised how much if you don't spend. And I did this purely by accident.
Mhm.
I was going through a season where I was really, really busy. I was too busy to spend, and that's the truth. I was too busy to spend any money. After that period was over and I slowed down and caught my breath, just the money that I had not spent because I was too busy to stop and spend it. That amount had blown up in my account. No time flat. No time flat. So the reality of it is, if it's a discipline, and it's almost like I'm gonna equate it to when I was a little kid, because I came from the church and we were real. My family was
Wow.
real stickler about tithing.
Yes,
So
sir.
if we got a dime, a penny was going in. That's just it. Wasn't no if, ands, or buts about
Yes.
it. You
Yes.
don't think anything of it. So this is my thing, because when I got older, I encountered people and say, "Oh my God, I just don't." Especially when I got a significant job that had a significant income. Oh my
Mhm.
God, I just don't see how you can tithe that much money. But if that's what you've done all your life, you don't even feel it. You don't even think about it. So I'm
Right.
back to that point of start it as early as possible in the minds of the kids so it doesn't become foreign. Because I will say this, I see more kids, man, they get hands on money and they just blow every single
Oh,
penny.
it
And I'm
burns a hole straight through their pocket.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a
Straight through their
discipline.
pocket.
It's a
And
discipline.
then you think about the songs we listen to now. I spend my whole paycheck and make it back. I can't think of them all the way, but there's a lot of songs that come out now that's like, I spend all my money, I'll just make it right back. And
Yeah.
so that's a different mindset. That's a mindset also. Plus, when kids are younger, they think they, going to live forever, going to be healthy forever, which I hope they do are healthy till the end of their life. But they don't think about, okay, so this might happen, and I need to put away for a rainy day.
But then why
So
do you have to pay
Right.
with chicken dinners and t-shirts and GoFundMe when you die?
Yeah,
now this is another thing because
absolutely.
I don't think we are really taught to save money for your death and your burial and things like that, because when you die it costs money. It costs a lot of money.
And you need it right now.
When do you guys think
Hmm.
it's an appropriate age to start making plans for this?
As soon as you can.
Hmm.
I think it's appropriate as soon as you can. I mean, accidents happen all the time.
This is
Absolutely.
true.
So, especially if you have people who, I mean, at any given point, you're going to have somebody who's going to have to take care of you. Like, so you have to, I mean, I think you should leave something for them to be able to take care of you with
Hmm.
once
I
you're
mean,
gone.
I think that a lot of people think that that's something that and even when you look at life insurance policy, like when you look at the marketing, they're not marketing to younger people. They're marketing to people who are closer to that time to be departed.
Correct.
Hmm.
But I mean, if you think about it, I think um, people should start thinking about their funeral and death and the cost of that and all of that. I think they should start thinking of it as soon as they think of retirement.
Can
And
I
I
talk?
mean,
Can I
go
touch
ahead.
this real quickly? Because I mean, I
100%.
literally, that's what I did for a living. They
Mhm.
cater that to older people because they're going to make more money from older people. If you understand what I'm saying, the rates
Hmm.
to a younger person are so low because it's based
Okay.
on insurance is based on risk, particularly if you go the route of insurance based pre need planning for funeral.
Mhm.
So the idea is that you got the young that are foolhardy and they feel like I'm not going to die, I'm invincible. But at the time when their rates would be the absolute lowest that they would ever pay, and say if you did a 5 year, a 10 year payout, if you're 20, by the time you're 30, your funeral is paid for in full at a a rate that's less than pennies on the dollar for what you're going to
Wow.
pay to these old folks that they are going out there and getting. Why are they getting them? Because they know their time to live is short. That's a tremendous amount of risk. That's a lot of money. So think about it even from that perspective. Why are they going after the old folks? Because the young people are not going to make them that same amount of money. So obviously, when's the best time to get that policy? When you're young. So, and especially if you're talking about something where the rate's not going to change and it's a lock in, which is really what you're looking for anytime you do pre-need burial scenarios, you want to lock in. So if there's a lock in there and you're locking that cost in, you're locking that funeral service in, you're locking the goods in, you're locking all that in at a young age. Even if you live to be way, way older, you've paid pennies on the dollar because inflation by itself is driving that cost up every week. So just think about that. And the other thing I want to say, and I'm out. When I worked for the number one insurance company in the world. And when I was in that arena, what I traditionally and typically saw for most people of wealth, which were predominantly white people, for most people of wealth, when that child was 29 days old, because that's the youngest you can get a policy. When that child was 29 days old, they took out a policy on their kids.
Wow. And I think that that's a part of we don't think of it like that, but I think that's a part of financial literacy because it's about getting the best bang for your buck. Go ahead and get it out the way. I think we should think of insurance policies and death like that in a like how we think of houses. Okay, I want to get my house. I want to have that out the way for my kids. You can do the same thing. I want to have my funeral arrangements out of the way so my children won't have to deal with it because that's what's going to happen. That's exactly what happened. And that's where you get to the GoFundMe's and, we have to ask everybody in the family and, how do we pay for this and how do we pay for that? Because let me tell you something, it's expensive. It's a lot of expenses.
Woo, you better ask somebody.
It's a lot of expenses. So, so I mean, we should definitely plan for that. I actually have a video that I wanted to share with our viewers because it's kind of speaking about the idea of dying and the death, but in more so of a way that kind of changed your perspective. We think about death and dying as a negative, and I understand that because your life is transitioning, but also we can see it in a way to where it's also a part of our life, and it's like it can be a beautiful thing. So I want to share this video. Let's watch it and we can kind of talk about what we feel about what we see.
Okay, I'm queuing it up for you, Lena. Just a second. Okay, here we go. Let's see. I'm gonna get past this little. It kicked the ad in while I was waiting, so we're gonna have to get through this for just a second. My apologies, but I think this is a great conversation to have. I think it's really, really good. We'll get past this as soon as this ad is done.
And actually,
today we'll talk about death.
Okay, go ahead.
You ready for it?
Okay. I'm ready for it.
Here we go.
And it might be uncomfortable and it might be hard, but I promise we're also probably going to have a lot of fun. I feel most alive when I am talking to people about their death. Their options, the two major ones that exist, are burial and cremation. I sincerely hope I'm starting to destigmatize that conversation. As they're currently
hold on a second.
Decompose.
Let me get that to where everybody can see it because I think I don't have it set correctly. So let me do this and bring you guys back up here.
And I'll give everybody just like an overview of what it's going to be about. It's a lady by the name of Alua Arthur, and basically she is a death doula. So a doula, most of the time you hear doula, you think about a birthing doula. And so she does the same thing except for it's for when people are about to pass on to the next whatever. And so she talks about it and she kind of gives us a different perspective on death and prepping for death. And I remember watching, I think she did a TED talk, and I literally just was just a little like rock. I was knocked off my rocker a little bit because I didn't see death in this way, and I seen it just kind of more so like a negative and a loss. But she kind of changed my perspective a little bit. So
okay, here we go. I'm gonna take you out just a second.
Okay.
We're going to talk about death, and it might be uncomfortable and it might be hard, but I promise we're also probably going to have a lot of fun. I feel most alive when I...
Let's try this once more and again. Here we go, y'all. Y'all bear with me. Here we go. All right. A little bit different of a setup. So here we go.
Today, we're going to talk about death, and it might be uncomfortable and it might be hard, but I promise we're also probably going to have a lot of fun. I feel most alive when I am talking to people about their death. Their options, the two major ones that exist, are burial and cremation. I sincerely hope I'm starting to destigmatize that conversation. As they're currently buried, the body doesn't decompose in a natural way. It turns into sludge. Talking about sex won't make you pregnant. Talking about death won't make you dead. My name is Elua Arthur, and I'm a death doula. A death doula is somebody who helps a person who's dying plan for their death and supports the family through the death. A lot of people think that my work is doom and gloom, but in fact, it's the most invigorating and life-affirming thing that I know how to do. I love life, and that's why I am drawn to working in death. I was hired by a family in Colorado to discuss what an end-of-life plan would look like because her mom has cancer. Planning for death looks like a lot of things. Getting an advanced care directives together, creating a very clear death plan about how you want to die, and it looks like getting arrangements for funeral or disposition of the body.
Come on in, come on in.
Hello. Hi.
My name is Debbie. I'm feeling a little melancholy because I have cancer, and we actually started talking about this when I was in the hospital. The fact that I don't have a will, and you don't think about stuff like this until you are having to think about it.
My hope is to honor your wishes as fully as possible. Whatever feels right for you, we'll do. Okay. So this is your advanced planning document. So by the time this is complete, it will be a legally binding document. It should have all the things that your family members will need to handle your affairs in case of serious illness when you're not able to anymore or after your death. What are your general thoughts on life support treatment?
The only experience I've ever had was with my mom. I don't know. What do you guys think?
It comes down to what you would want if you're in that situation.
I don't want to be one of those people that is in a coma for 2 years.
Right. Would you want machines to support if there was a chance she could get better?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want my family to suffer.
Okay.
That's the thing. I do not want my life to be prolonged if the likely risks would outweigh the expected benefit.
Okay. From working in death, I've learned that life is so precious, and even the pain is as pleasant as the joy.
And I think that's where you wanted to stop, Lena. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So what do you guys, this is you guys' first time watching this, and I want to know what you think about it.
Go ahead, Shelly. Still muted.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Okay, sweet. I was saying that this is interesting. I never really thought, I'm just like the people that she talked about in the video. Like, I'm one of those people who I like to kind of avoid the conversation unless it's, the person has already passed. But I guess it is really important to talk about it so that we have preparations and we're able to go about the process peacefully, because you do see a lot of the times, especially in our community, where someone passes on and we are having to scramble finances together, or we're having not even just finances, like what are we going to have for the meal, how many people are coming, and what family do we need to contact, and that kind of thing, where if we had a carefully laid out plan prior to doing so, it's going to happen to all of us. Everyone has to die, so why not go ahead and make preparations for yourself? I really like that, and I like what she does, and that she brings so much positivity and light into it, because when I first heard it, my face scrunched up, because I'm like, a death doula, that sounds like a lot of doom and gloom, but she makes it a great thing, and that's amazing.
Yeah, Angine, you want to say your...
Oh, no. No, I was just agreeing with what Shelly was saying.
Okay. I was just gonna say that this really altered me because I feel like I had the same feelings of the people on the video, but having recently, been through some things that were, there's been a death in the family and things of that nature. I think that is very beautiful to have someone, and she doesn't just help with support as far as like writing the plan down, all that, but she actually offers support, emotional support, and just someone being there who's level headed, who's not necessarily feeling the emotions of a lost loved one, but can kind of like help you like maneuver through that
Right.
pain or those feelings, a lot of feelings that come along with it. And so, it reminds me of I think back in the day before a lot of, funeral homes or things of that nature. I think people used to have the bodies like in the house with them
Correct.
until a certain period, and people would come and see the body and give flowers or food and things of that nature. So it kind of gives me like that sense of community. And even when I think of a birthing doula, it's basically the same thing. Someone to help you there, somebody to give you information, somebody to be there for emotional support and physical support. And I think that is what people need. I think that it's a like community. And I think it's important for people to have somebody to lean on in the moments where where they need it.
Mm-hmm. I
So
agree.
that's my sentiment about it. 18.
No, and I think that really, I used to do pre-planning, and the conversation that I always had was not from it. This isn't a negative place and a negative space. Unfortunately,
Right.
we've made it that because really in our culture, we've made doom and gloom equivalent to death, which death is really just a part of living. It's a part of that transitional phase of living. And unfortunately, even I say this and people laugh. I grew up in a church where death was almost like, baby, you're going to hell. What you gonna do when death come creeping in the room? I mean, they made death such a monstrous thing that it was like, I don't want to die. I don't, and it's like,
Everybody's scared to die.
yeah, everybody's scared to die. They scared. Am I gonna be ready
No,
when I
really.
die?
I remember, yeah, growing up, my mom wouldn't even let us go to funerals, like of close family, because she was just like, no, I can't think about it. Just we're gonna avoid it altogether. And I felt like as I grew older, it kind of made me almost desensitized to it. Like, is this a bad thing? Is it a good thing? And then, I mean, obviously, you do your own process and research, and you find out that we all have to do it. So let's
That's so
handle it
That's interesting because
strategically.
sorry, yes, let's handle it
No,
strategically.
you're okay.
I think that's smart. But that's interesting because I have a few friends who've never been to a funeral before, and we're the same age. I'm 28. We're the same age. They've never been to a funeral, and I'm just like, it's different. I think because I grew up in the church and everything like that. So I think for me, funerals and death, like when I go to a funeral, I see it as like just a sign of respect and honoring this person's life. But I think that if we could kind of change our mindset with death and our perspective and reboot it,
Yes.
then maybe it could be something where we see it like, okay, this is going to be my last opportunity to take advantage of my life, where what I mean, this is going to
Yeah.
be the opportunity for me to take into my own hands
Yeah,
how I want things to
that
go.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it is a
That makes a lot of
reboot
sense.
as far as the way
It
that
is
you
a
think
reboot.
about it, because it is a matter of saying this is the way for you to say what you want there to be at your final remembrances, not for the people that think they know. Because listen, a lot of people have no clue, no idea what you really want. So it is a matter of you being in charge and in control to say, this is what I want. Somebody, oh, I know she would have wanted that purple cat. She would have wanted that purple casket. No, you don't. You're like,
Well,
no, I don't like that.
that
It's
purple casket is an extra
Right.
$200 now. Now, are
that
you going, Brittany? Oh, okay.
that too. So that's the
Yep.
conversation that we would have, is a matter of saying, you take your final arrangements. Okay, you guys, you plan for your car, do you not? You
Yes.
plan for your house. You
Yes, you
plan
do.
for all of these significant things that are in life, but then it's almost like my demise is not significant and definitely not as significant as a house or a car or this or that. And it's like, how do you figure that? How do you figure that your life and what you want your life memorialized is not as important as planning for a car, a house, the furniture that I want? I mean, you plan for all of these things, but you do not plan for yourself.
It's
It
interesting.
absolutely is. And I think if we take away so much of the, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still sad. It's gonna be sad either way when it happens because you're losing the interactions, the worldly interactions you're gonna have with this person. But if we remove some of those negative feelings from it, then I think people would come around more. Like I think that if you didn't think, oh, I don't want to see Granny like that, then you would come see Granny more because you know what's about to happen and you know the next transition of her life. So it's not like a huge epidemic that's gonna happen to you. Go see Granny. Yeah, Granny's sick, but everybody's gonna have that time.
Have you guys seen The Imitation of Life?
Yes.
Yes.
The funeral
Oh my God, it's
scene.
one of my favorite movies.
The funeral scene, and how everybody was so shocked because she'd already planned for her services. She already had paid everybody. She already had taken care of all the business, so that you got the grown-ups, this person that she had been with all of her life. And I know she was her employer, but that's still true with family members. That's still true with friends. They were just actually shocked, stunned, and amazed. They're like, oh my God, who knew? But she'd already done all of that and put all of that in place. So when it came time that she passed away, everything was done. And the people closest to her were shocked, stunned, and amazed because they had no clue.
Yes, I remember. That was a good scene. And that's how everybody should leave it off.
Yeah. She took it. Even the milkman. She had the milkman's little crisp money ready for him. I mean, she was ready. And so at the end of the day, it was a beautiful ceremony, but it was exactly what she wanted.
It was beautiful too.
Yeah.
And this is the last thing I'm gonna say about it. We're gonna go to the next thing, but I see that you don't even have to be buried in a casket. You can be buried and you can become a tree.
Yes.
Have you seen it? I love that. I
Yes.
absolutely love that because
yes.
I love trees. So I'm always like, I could become a tree when I'm out of here.
The composting is huge right now, and it's in full swing and picking up steam.
That's dope. Okay, well, let's go to our next. Let's go to our next one on this or that. Our next thing on this or that.
Okay, so who won that one? I feel like Planet Head won that one just through the conversation.
Who did win on that one? So it originally was save for retirement or go on Medicaid at 65. And so
this one, that's what Rebel said. This one, save one.
Save for retirement, please. No matter what age you at, go ahead. If you 3, go ahead and start saving for retirement.
Teach those babies how to save.
Babies. Okay. Number 2, this is gonna switch the what we're talking about. But number 2 is, do you want to let go of your first love or continue to make it work? And actually, I'll reframe it. Do you want to stay in a relationship that maybe is not very productive or going in the direction that you want to go in, or do you stay and make it work? What do you guys think?
Shelly, your face.
Because the first way you phrased it, I'm like, let go. You better let go if you're moving on. But I see what you're saying now.
Okay.
I have been the stay and make it work person, and it never worked. Ever. Not once. I'm all about redemption. I'm all about offering people second, third, fourth, fifth, seventh, eighth chances. And that's fine to an extent. But what I really don't want is for somebody to peg that about me and then abuse it, which has happened to me in the past. And from then, that has just taught me, I'm going to treat you how you treat me. I also try to maintain who I am and like my character, but I'm not gonna stick around for somebody who's not sticking around for me.
Okay, let me rephrase
So
it
I'm
because.
definitely.
Oh, sorry, Shelly.
Go ahead.
What if it's both of y'all, it's just not working? Both people are in the relationship, both of y'all want to be there, but for some reason it's not working. So would you stay in that relationship and would you leave, or would you like just go ahead and stay and just like fight it out and figure how to get it to work?
That's interesting. It's not working like what? Like we're not
Y'all just
romantically compatible, or like we butt heads a lot?
Like button heads, let's say button heads, or just it's not quite fitting in there correctly.
Okay, if it's about button heads, I think, and you both still want to make it work, like you have the love and the loyalty, but you just can't see eye to eye in arguments, I say first seek professional help. Get a therapist, get in counseling, do the work individually. A lot of people think that to work on problems in a relationship, you have to work together. You absolutely do not. You have childhood traumas and you have past coping mechanisms that you've brought to this person. So work on yourself, and that'll teach you how to communicate and interact with them.
Yes.
And I think step by step, chipping off the block step by step. You don't have to take everything and try to move it all at once. Do one thing at a time. You work on your individual selves and then come together and try to see, okay, can we make this puzzle piece fit again?
So which
but
one
I
are
also
you
don't
choosing,
believe. I think I'm gonna in this instance I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna do the work, get the professional help, and make it work. If we love each other and we're loyal to each other, but we just bumping heads, we can make it work.
All of our comments, everybody's like, I'm gone, I'm running. Rebel Link put the running man. Everybody's like, I'm running. Wait. Truck driver said, I'm running like Forrest Gump.
I'm cracking up.
SK8843 said, left my silhouette in the wall. Y'all ain't wasting no time, huh? Y'all just out of there.
Oh, shit.
I mean, at the initial ask, I thought the same thing. I'm like, I'm out of here, but I don't know. I think I'll make it work if we can.
I'm definitely a chance giver. I'm definitely like, what's that? Okay, we just quoting Drake songs. What's that song he talking about? One time do something on me, fool it 2 times, put the blame on. Anyways, I'm giving chances. I'm giving like 2 or 3 chances.
Oh, J. Cole. Yes, I know.
Oh, that is J. Cole. I'm not with the new music. I'm sorry, all the listeners. I don't really listen to everybody. That's why I thought it was Drake instead of J. Cole. They look alike. So I would give like 3 chances, and if we get to that 4th chance and it's not working, then okay, let's go ahead and move on. That's me.
Yeah, I can get that. I can feel that. So the runners, the track stars won that one, I think.
She's a runner. She's a track star.
She's a runner.
The chat is out of here.
The chat is gone.
That yes, the runners have it. That runner song is like I think he's talking about cheating, and she's saying she's gone, and he's like, "You're a runner, you're a track star." No, sir, she's done with your mess. Like she's not dealing with it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, now, Miss Willingham, are you saying be more like Shelly? Clarify on that, M. Willingham. Are you saying more people should be like Shelly? I want to get the feeling and the sense of understanding what you're saying to us. I see a sad face. You want
because
more?
I will give a bunch of chances, and I don't know if my other Libras or my other air signs can relate to this at all, but like I almost understand people to a fault. Like I can sit down and listen to somebody telling me why they did something to wrong me and be like, no, I get that. I get where you're coming from.
Shelly. You know how Shelly got. Wait, y'all know how Shelly got on me talking about Lena, delete all the stuff off your phone. Make sure you delete it. Oh, that's too much. Don't keep all of that deleted. Now, Shelly said people will sit there and explain to them why they did what they did wrong to you, and you'll be like, I get that.
No, for real.
And so then what's the next step?
I mean, it depends. It depends. If it's something that goes against my morals or something that is just like I can't I can't think to even move forward with you, I have to walk away just to keep my dignity and my self-respect. But if it's like, oh, I asked you to load the dishwasher and you forgot, and you're like, oh, I forgot because I was in a rush, my boss was calling me, whatever. Okay, well, yeah, we can keep doing this.
Oh, okay.
Shelly, the rebel said you are Jesus Ika.
Jesus, that's funny. That's funny.
She
right
said
there.
you are Jesus Ika. Yeah.
You know, because
That's a
Shelly's
good
like,
point.
whoever is faultless, throw the first stone. That's how Shelly is. I feel you. That's what's up.
Now, with that, I do have my hard lines. I can understand you all day and night. That's the thing. Like, I can understand you all day and night, but that doesn't mean I have to stick around for the foolishness.
But Shelly, you got knots all across your head. You got knots all.
No, but I get why they did that though. I get why I got a knot here. I get it. You were upset.
But that's between you and God to figure out. I don't have nothing to do with this anymore.
Okay. So Shelly's just saying she's civilized enough, even after the hurt, to actually sit there and talk through it. But after y'all done that, Shelly's still gone. She's not trying to talk through it to make it work. She's trying to just let you realize yourself, and then she's out of there.
I hear you, Shelly. I hear you. Okay.
So who went on that one? I forgot. It's further down. Royal Confession said, "Hell to the no, not." The track stars won that. The track stars won that. So that's gonna be they're not gonna stay. They're gonna leave. Bye, Felicia. Mel Holiday said, "Bye, Felicia."
Bye, Felicia. Bye, Felicia. Bye, Felicia.
Okay, let's go to our third one.
Good enough for you.
This is a good question. Okay, it's a long question, so everybody hanging here with me. It says, if you have a time machine, 1, do you go 10 years in the past to talk to your younger self, or 10 years in the future to meet with your future self?
One more time. Shelly, can you mute real quick?
Wait, Truck Driver 57 said,
I'm so sorry. I thought I did.
Okay. I know. That's why I was repeating. Go ahead now.
Truck Driver 57 says, the baby is even saying run. Listen, I told y'all already won it, okay? Everybody said run. We're not sticking around for mess. I get it. That's funny.
He said even the baby said run.
Run. Get on up out of there. Like,
run, Forrest, run.
And Forrest was gone. Okay, I'm gonna read the question one more time. If you had a time machine, would you go 10 years in the past to talk to your younger self, or would you go 10 years in the future to speak to your future self? What would you do?
If it were me, and I'm just going to jump in while Shelly's doing that. If it were me, I would take the time machine and probably go forward. Because now, for where I am right now, I feel like it took everything that happened in my life to get me to this point right here. And I have to say, I love myself where I am right here. I couldn't always say that, but I love where I am right here. So I wouldn't necessarily go back to the past and change any of that, particularly. Now, yes, some of that, but I'm here now. I would go from here and go to the future.
Let me say that if you go 10 years back or go 10 years in the future, you still have the same knowledge and everything. So nothing is, I guess, okay. Do you still keep your same answer after that?
I'm always looking forward instead of going backwards. That's just me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Go ahead, Shelly Welly.
I like that. I like that perspective. This is a hard question because I would I can't even I mean it's a hard question, but I would definitely go back in the past because past me lived through and dealt with a lot of things that she shouldn't have, and for various reasons, for trauma, for lack of self confidence, for various reasons. So I would love to go back and tell her to be stronger and tell her to keep her head up and tell her not to deal with what she was dealing with and go forward. I mean, I don't think it would change. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it would change anything because in the comments, I think it was, mm, mm, I think it was Mel who just said,
What did you say?
I guess no one's. Oh yeah, no, it was Jonna. Jonna
Jonna.
said even God can't change the past, and that's absolutely true. I don't think God can change the past, but I think that I would have walked with a more higher sense of self and respected my own opinions and my own decisions more. I even now today I deal with a lot of overthinking and overanalyzing situations, and the past me did even more. So just to give myself that push of confidence to say, do it and don't think about it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I would go back.
Yeah.
Even if
Yeah.
nothing changed, just so I could walk with my head held high through the decisions and situations that I made.
If I could go back and just start 10 years ago, I would definitely do that. 100%. And have the same knowledge, have knowledge I have now.
Mhm.
Oh, I would be going back and I would be changing some stuff and doing things differently, doing things quicker. I would go ahead and address some things that I was waiting on. And I understand that, it's a process and everything does happen to make you the person that you are right now. But if I'm the person that I am right now and I got a chance to go back 10 years with the knowledge of everything, I would definitely go back and change a whole bunch of stuff. Yes, I would. And buy some stock in Bitcoin before it got big. And I would just really redo some stuff. I really would.
Mm. I feel you.
I really would. So who won on that question? I think our chat, everybody said go to the future. Rebel Inc. said future for me too. Truck Driver 57 said I'm going forward because if I go back, I'm just saying.
See,
anybody who says future, what would you do? What would you say to your future self? That's kind of what I'm curious about.
That is a good question. So the people who commented going in the future, what you say? Repeat it, Shirley.
I was just saying, what would you do? What is it that you want to share with your future self? And Jean, I know you said future. What is it that you would do?
if I spoke to my future self, I would really I feel applied the tenacity that never gave up, that saw the changes that I needed to see from the person of today, and then did what I needed to do to get it done, and just appreciate that transition and that change and that stick to itiveness, and say, girl, you did it. You did it. Now let's go for the next 10 and then the next 10 and just keep on seeing myself in the future in a successful way, seeing myself in the future in a happier way, in a more productive way. And there's always something that can trump that and top that. And so I'm constantly going forward, and because look at it like this. A lot of my peers, I'm at the age and stage now where my friends are dying. My friends are passing away, and almost my whole entire generation ahead of me is almost completely gone. So it's like, okay, but even though, at a later stage in life, and I hear what you're saying, Lena, go back 10 years so I can change that thing, turn that thing around. But I'm like, hey, I just keep going to my older self and encouraging my older self to go farther. And thank you for what you did here. It's just be that constant appreciation. And especially if all all of my peers are gone. And it may not be, I hope I always have a connection to the young people, but it may not be a lot of young people coming to say, girl, you did that. But honey, I'm going to always talk to myself and be like, girl, you did that.
And you did. And
yeah,
you did do
it
that.
kind of has the same effect in reverse. Like I said, I would go back to the past to give myself the confidence. But if I were to jump 10 years in the future and see how successful I was, and then come back to real time, I would have the confidence of knowing where I'm going to be at. So I guess, I can see that for sure.
Mel Holiday said, but if you go back, there wouldn't be a reboot. That wouldn't be a reboot. If you go back, there wouldn't be reboot.
Yeah, Lena, she was just telling, she said she put that up when you were talking. She said, but if you went back, you wouldn't have a reboot. So
I see it as a reboot. I would reboot my life. I reboot some stuff because I got the knowledge now.
This podcast wouldn't be here.
Oh, okay. I see. Yes, it would. It might start a little bit earlier. I might be like, Shelly A. G, listen, I know we ain't here yet, but I know some information. Let's go ahead and get it popping.
I hear you.
So I do understand that, though. The idea is to be grateful for who you are now and the things that you have made it through, and understand that it's just a journey. You know, we see the movies, all the movies always say, oh, you go back and, you know, you change something and it's not quite right. And so you just be grateful for where you are and just continue to, you know, do the best you can. Simple as that. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And so I think the future is one on that one. I think they chose that.
And Rebel said, we love reboot. And she got some amens on that. They love reboot. Appreciate what you guys are doing. Come on.
Yes, I love it. Okay, let's do one more. Because we got a whole list, but let's do one more. Let me find one I really like. Let's see. Okay, this is a good one. Actually, I think this is a good one. Okay. Do you choose soul family or soulmate? So, do you have that one person for everything you do, or do you have a group of people, your soul family, who you share connections with on different things? So, do you have a soul family or do you have a soul mate? This is a good question.
I for sure have soul family. I have collected, I say collected like they're trophies. I have gathered together a group of people throughout my life experiences, and so far, and I am excited to gather more people as I continue through life, who I connect with on different things. I enjoy different aspects of life with, and we have a lot of fun. In a lot of instances, not only that, I have people who can kind of bring me down to earth, put me in check, that kind of thing. And I really appreciate the gathering.
Do you think
the village that I have?
Do you think the idea of a soulmate and that being your all in all, like that person having like being your everything, do you think that is a dated idea of connection, or do you think
No, absolutely not. I think it's based on personality. I think it's based on who you are. Depending on what you are, what you want out of life, you'll go one way or the other.
Okay. Truck Jar 57 says, I have both. Rebel Link said, soul family. You know, this is a tough question for me because if I had to choose this or that, I'm more so of the idea of having a soulmate and that person, you know, being your person. So you know, and having that connection to where y'all are everything to each other. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't have connections with other people, but you know, the person I get my love from or the person who understands me the most, I would think would be my soulmate. Yeah, that's what I would want. But like as far as right now, I think that I more so have a soul family. But as far as looking for a soulmate, I would be looking for these type of connections in that person.
I understand that. I hear that out. I think
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of a toss up in the comments. I see soul family, soul mate. Yeah,
So
I just saw another soul family, so I think we might win it. I have a question for you though, Lena. Do
okay.
you think so? Right now, do you have lots of friends,
I do
like
not have lots of
lots of
friends.
people
No,
you go out and do things with?
no, I do not.
Okay,
And that is
see,
that
that's
is
why I think it's.
purposely.
Hmm
I just
That's
think
why I
that
think
it's.
it might be
I'm sorry.
personality based, because if you don't have a lot of friends and you don't need a lot of people around you, it makes sense that one person can be all of it for you, can do
Mhm.
everything for you.
Well,
So I
truthfully,
don't
I'm.
think soulmate is dated.
Oh, okay, okay. Truthfully, I'm a very people person. I love to be around people. I love the idea of having a big family. I love the idea of having just a lot of friends. But the older I get, I realize that relationships are very difficult. And even friendships have, you have responsibilities. If you're a friend, you have a responsibility to that person, and it takes energy. So, as far as having 10 friends, that's a lot of work now. That's a lot of work. I think it's difficult to be connected to 10 people, you know, on a
Hmm
friendship level. So me personally, I think I went through a period in my life where a lot of my friendships and connections had like dissolved. And so then at this point I'm very slow to um invite more people into my life. And so like I'm trying to not be so open to where I'm just, oh, because I know the person that I am. Like if I'm your friend, I'm gonna be your friend. Like I'm gonna be there for you. Like I like 100%. I'm gonna go all the way in.
Right.
And it's like impossible to do that with a large amount of people. You have friends, you have family, you have, if you have a loved one like a significant other, it's a lot. So I just keep my friends to a minimum right now.
I feel you. I feel
Can I
you.
comment? I'm looking at Royal Confessions is cutting up over there.
What
Now,
do you say?
Royal
I
Confessions
can't
isn't
do
female.
it.
Royal Confessions is playing.
I can't do it.
Now, I
I
feel like
can't.
this. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm a this sad. I'm a this and a that. I'm a this sad.
This at I
I'm
like
This
a this.
that.
that.
So this sad. I
Mm.
do feel like when I'm listening to you talk about having a lot of friends and it takes a lot of work, I feel this is me at nearly 60, so y'all don't have to go here or not.
Come on.
But
I
at
need some
nearly
wisdom.
60, at your age, my relationships were difficult. But my relationships were difficult because they were mostly all the wrong people.
Mm.
I had to work so hard in those relationships, and I finally figured out these ain't my fault. They are not my fault.
Okay.
So all of that energy, all of that expending my resources, my time, my thoughts, my heart, and all of that. After a while, I was like, no, these ain't my folk. And when I let go of those folk, the right folk came. And once I got with the right folks, all of that laboring in the vineyard was done. And I'm not saying that my friends and I, we may have some places where we maybe bump heads or rub a little bit, not a whole lot for real. But we may have some areas where we disagree. We walk hand in hand, even though we don't see eye to eye, and we choose to do that and keep moving because we're all mature enough and healthy and whole enough that we don't have to try to force the other person to see or be whatever it is we want. And that takes so much pressure off of the relationship so that we can kick it if we want to. We can drop everything right now if we haven't seen each other in X number of months and act like it just started. Like I just saw you yesterday and it might be 10 years later and nobody's all tore up talking about, I thought you were my friend, and none of that. So, it's like there, to me, may be some elements of as you grow and as you change in that way, some of that may not be as critically important. I don't know. And that may just be your makeup though. But I definitely know for myself, And we're socialized to have that significant other soulmate as well, where they're and depending on your background, they're your everything. And I'm like, no, because I've seen a lot of people that have gotten into relationships and that other person was their everything, and then God forbid should something happen to that individual and they are just devastated. They just cannot function. And I'm like, I don't want to be in a place where I can't function, but that's me. That's just me. And that's not saying I'm going to withhold my love and my intimacy and none of that. I mean, I'm going to be full steam ahead. I'm just not going to wrap my life up entirely into one individual to where if that individual were removed from my life, I just couldn't go another further. I'm just not, that's not me. Some people, and I get people that are like that. And I'm not saying anything as a put down where that's concerned. People's needs are different, but I shoot, I know, Chad, please. Once I freed myself up and I wasn't rolling like that anymore, you talk about some liberty and some freedom. And I can look at people and they be like, oh, I want this and I'll be like, honey, knock yourself out because I'm good.
Well, do you think that, so, listening to you, do you think that it's a choice in the way that you, relation with people? Or is it just like, as it comes, some people, you guys just click in a lot of different ways. So they just naturally become that person for you. Or do you think it's a choice to where you're like, okay, I'm just not going to, what do you think?
Go ahead, Shelly.
I definitely think that it's natural. I think that you connect with who you connect with. You don't have to force those connections.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that it's natural.
Yeah, I think that it's natural too. But I guess I have the idea that, your soulmate is, I mean, I guess the question is, what's the definition of a soulmate?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know like the Merriam-Webster, but in my eyes, the way I imagine it is soulmate versus soul family is a soulmate is someone who you feel you can get you can experience all of your life experiences with, like outside of and this is outside of obviously your biological family, like your relatives. So this is a
Mm-hmm.
person that you've met in your life who you feel like you can go to the club with, go to church with, go to dinner with, go to movies, and you guys will never ever get bored with each other. I mean, obviously, there are going to be things that you want to do by yourself, but other than doing them alone, you want to do them with that person.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other side of the coin, a soul family is a group of people who maybe you have those experiences with. Maybe you have a friend who's not so religious, but she always has the best movie recommendations. So you always go to the movies with her and you guys connect well doing that. And you also connect well on outside the movie theater. Maybe like, I don't like you have your spouse, the person who are you romantically involved with. Maybe they don't like, going traveling and going on vacations. So you got your group of girlfriends who you primarily travel with, and you can come home and you can share those stories with your spouse, and they love that for you and they love that about you, but they just not getting on the plane or the boat.
Okay.
So I guess whereas a soulmate is the person you would do all of that with, and you guys have a great time doing all of that together. Your soul family are those multiple people who you do different things with, and you enjoy doing those different things with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess you define things how you want to define them, and you get into the relationships that you feel most comfortable with. So, who won that? Who won it? Was it the soul person or the soul family? Did y'all?
I think it's a bit of a tie. I saw a lot of people saying either both or one or the other. So I want to
Soul
call it a tie.
family. Okay.
But so
Well,
is
we're
it soul
gonna call
family?
it. We're gonna say soul family.
Okay,
So most
that
people
works.
think that it's a soul family. So that's beautiful. That's great. This was our edition of
Mm-hmm.
this or that, to where we choose which one speaks most to us, this or that. Now, I would like for us to go to Let's talk just briefly about the present because we never really kind of got there. So what do you think of or this I think I asked this last week, but what do you do to keep you in the present, or what does the present mean to you, Shelly?
Oh, I think we did kind of touch on it last week, but
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me, the present is just, um, I, I think exactly how it sounds: living in the moment, keeping yourself grounded, not stressing too much over, decisions or things that you've been through in your past, but also not stressing too much over what you have to do in your future.
Hmm. You know, I think that for me, the present, I think it's a struggle for me to try to stay grounded in it because
Mm-hmm.
I think most of the time I'm either, thinking about what happened in the past and how not to do that again, or trying to plan for the future.
Mm-hmm.
So, I struggle with trying to figure out how to stay grounded and stay in the present. But I think for me, mostly it's going to be, prayer. Prayer usually makes me realize today. I don't know what that, it makes me see today as today.
Good.
I like to pray, and then usually like when I'm speaking with people, and
I like
maybe I
that.
say something funny and people are like hysterically laughing. For some reason, that makes me feel like ground. It stops me, and I realize it, and I notice it, and I'm taking it all in. So that makes me feel grounded
Hmm.
or present. Um, I'm trying to think what else. Eating, Lord, you give me some good food. I'm not thinking about nothing else. I'm focused on this right here, right now. It's me and this plate of food, and we're about to go to town.
See,
That helps me feel grounded. And because food is from the earth, it's of now. It's keeping me alive, literally.
uh-huh.
So that's what keeps me grounded.
Cool, cool. That's cool.
Yeah. What about you?
I am definitely in a place and space right now where I try to experience every moment experience the experience as it happens. Let me put it like that.
Mhm.
And stay right here and stay right now, stay right present. Um, I don't necessarily have a prescribed process of anything. It's just whatever happens and however it happens. That's the way I roll right now, this minute.
Mhm.
When you talk about prayer and meditation, I think that's beautiful. And there are phases of that and stages of that for me and to me. And so it's like when I was at a different stage, a different phase of life, that has changed. I've seen it change almost every decade is like something different.
Hmm.
But all of that still has some place in my life, just not the same way. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, it's really just staying right here, right now, because I'm like, if I never see tomorrow, I don't want to plan and continuously talk about what I'm going to do tomorrow and then not experience and do anything today.
Mm.
And I say
Mhm.
this sometimes even as a minister, and people don't really understand it, but I say it like this and people get offended, and so I'm gonna just let folk get offended if they're going to. But if
Let
there
'em.
was no heaven, if there was no heaven, and if there was no afterlife, I don't want to have and be one of those people that was waiting on heaven and waiting for the afterlife only to find out there wasn't one. You know what I'm
Well,
and I say that now for everybody that thinks I just spoke, oh my God, you just heresy. The concept is what I'm saying. If there was no heaven and if there was no afterlife, I want to live my life today so that if there isn't one, I'm not going to be looking pit because I was waiting on something that never came. So there you
yeah, yeah. I love that. And the Bible said he came that he might have life more abundantly.
come on and preach, girl.
Life right now more abundantly.
More
So
abundant.
I'm just
And I say
saying.
a lot of people are barely living life, much less more abundant life.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I think that it's important for everybody to really take a step back and figure out what you need to do so that you can live your life, even if it's a little thing. Like start baby steps and then get to the bigger picture, but live your life now to where you're happy. You're doing the things you want to do. You're feeling fulfilled. I feel like
Mhm.
that's what it's about. That's
Yeah,
what it's about.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we talked we tapped on the future a little bit. We talked about, the preparing financially and things of that nature. We talked about the present and staying grounded and doing what you have to do to be connected. If you were to give somebody a piece of advice, what would you tell them? How could they stay grounded in the present right now? What would you tell them? Just a quick piece of advice.
Be yourself. I think that our whole entire journey of life is the journey back to who God really made us to be.
Mm-hmm.
Our journey in life is to journey back to who God made us to be and be that person to the fullest. To me.
Yes. Yes. Let's see. SK8843 said, I'm learning to create abundance in my life.
Yes.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
so important. It's so important. I think life I used to hear the older folks say it all the time when I was younger, and I was just like, y'all just be talking. But they would say, life is so short. Life is fleeting. And now that I'm older, man, it's so true. It
Yeah.
really is. So it's important. It's
Yeah.
important to try to create that abundance in your life and do the things that you feel you're put here to do. It's
Yeah.
difficult. I'm not sure why it's so difficult to because I think a lot of things are thrown at us. And so it's easy to be confused and easy to like get off of the path. But search and go forth for the path. And then once you find it, try your best to stay on it.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Do you think our society, especially for your generation, do you think society has taught us and sold us a bill of goods of what is, abundant life? What is, including the church, what is abundant life? Abundant life to me isn't going to 10,000 conventions and 50 conferences and church every night. Life to me isn't, a lot of the things that we've lived through trying to get materialistic things, trying to have a job, trying to have a career, trying to hear. When I look at SK say she's creating abundant life for herself, I don't equate that to anything tangible as in materialism. I don't equate that to I'm learning how to make an abundance in life within my life. Such as when I go daily almost and go by the water and just let the water speak to me. When I go and I hear the breaking waves on the shore and what that life, because that water is life, that those waves are life. When I experience all of that in its abundance, all of that is abundant life coming to me. It's not about, oh, I got another car, I got a bigger house, I got a promotion on my job. So do you think that, I mean, the from your perspective as a millennial, do you think that the idea of what abundant life is made clear to your age group?
I think that is going to be difficult to answer. I think that it depends on like what you consider to be abundant life. So I think that you have to really like step back and assess yourself and really get down to what is it that makes me feel like I'm here for a reason, or what is it that makes me feel like I'm definitely living an abundant life. Now, of course, we know that materialistic things is not really equating to abundant life, even though that's what they portray in media or whatever. But I think that people acquire things and material things. I think that it's not the material thing. I think it's what the material thing makes them feel is what is important. So you think about somebody who you know likes to buy nice clothes, and like this is what they spend their hard-earned money on. They buy them, they spend it on clothes, they spend it on shoes, they spend it on that thing. It's not necessarily the clothes or the shoes that is the most important thing. Is what that piece of clothing or that shoe makes them feel. So I personally, like for me personally, I think that I try to consider what I feel is most important in my life, or what I think is makes me feel like I'm doing something I'm supposed to be doing. And I for me, it's being connected to people is taking care of people. I feel like I should be. That's when I'm taking care of somebody or I'm doing something for somebody, it makes me feel like it's a purposeful thing. I think that I'm a giver. I just am. And so that's kind of what makes me feel like I'm living an abundant life. And it comes in different aspects. Like, I do hair. That makes me feel like I'm even though I'm receiving money for my services.
Yes.
The ultimate thing is that I've taken care of somebody in this moment. I've connected with somebody in this moment, and after I've done my service, they're going to feel better about themselves to be able to go out and face the world. That's what I love about it. And also, I create music. I love music. I have I'm always, I write songs. And so I always am trying to think, why am I writing this? But sometimes, if you're a songwriter or anybody who's like a creator, sometimes stuff just comes out. It's not necessarily something that, you've sat down and calculated and created. And it's not necessarily like something that you can make. It's like something that comes through you.
Yes.
And so a lot of the songs and stuff that I make are like about healing and about, growth. Like I have a song about a cheating. This guy was about a man cheating on a woman. And it's like, I ain't got too much to say to your ass. That's basically the song.
Yeah.
I ain't got too much more to say to your ass. And it's about cheating, and it's about guys or people or your person, whoever, and they try to take advantage of you, and then they want to come back and get back in a relationship with you like nothing happened. Well, the song is I don't have too much more to say to your ass, but it's basically about, the woman or the person getting to a point where they can not be manipulated or taken advantage of anymore.
Yes.
And like, I don't got nothing else to say to you, you know? And so I feel like people can hear my music and grow whatever they need to grow and be able to do the things that they weren't able to do before. And that makes me feel like I'm helping people, and it makes me feel abundant.
Good.
So that's my personal way of having an abundant life.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Shelly said she thinks that living abundantly also means making mistakes, breaking the mold, following your heart, and keeping the faith. You can be a good person with a flawed past. No one is perfect. Absolutely.
This is very profound, and I think it's important for people to hear this today. Like, I think that when we think of abundant life or a great life, we think of daisies and roses and everything's just wonderful, and life is great, life is grand. But a lot of life is about making mistakes. A lot of life is about doing the hard things.
Yes.
And so that's also very much a part of being abundant. And I think that's good. That's what people need to hear. It's not all supposed to feel good. And just because you're not in a space where it feels nice to you doesn't mean that you're not living an abundant life.
Let me ask you this, because I would probably say I am a giver as well. I definitely am. I would probably say at your phase of life when I was there, I think I would have said everything that you said. Now, as I'm getting older, and this isn't a mine trumps yours, I just want to see what your mindset is or your thought is about this. I am at a place where it's like my giving, the abundance that I feel from giving to others, it's almost like I want to have that much abundance giving it to myself.
Yes.
I really want to give myself in as much abundance, if not more, than the people. And I feel that in so doing at this, and this is me here now. So I just want you to hear what you have to say. Me here now. So it's like, I feel like my ability to really have something grounded and genuine to give to others is after I've given that much or more to myself first. What do you think about that?
I think that this is why it's important to have a connection with people that are older than you and also people who are younger with you, because you learn so much more, right? So if you have somebody who's almost like a giver like I am,
Mm-hmm.
and they're saying, this is, it gives you a different perspective. Now, what you're saying is actually, being able to give to people who are able to give to you in the same way at the same level.
No. I'm not even bringing people into it.
Oh,
it's
okay.
not about people. I'm saying I've gone through when I was younger where I was a giver and I'm giving to people. Gave it freely, gave it happily. Sometimes gave it in pain, gave it in heartbreak, gave it in but I was still giving it. But now I'm at a point where I'm saying, Lena, that I've been giving everybody else, spiritual thought leader, give that to yourself and more.
Okay.
What you have over your lifetime continuously given out to other people, stop the giving out to other people and give to yourself. Give it to Regina. You understand what I'm saying? And give Regina more than what I give A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Give Regina, you hear what I'm saying? Give Regina not just something over here in the corner tucked away. It's a little taste of something for Regina over here. Get a sip, get a dip. But you done, because I'd already given and exploited all my other stuff with all these other people because I had to make sure I was giving to the people. And I loved it. Even at times when it did create heartbreak and a toe up from the flow up, but it was still that place when I would get in my bedroom, be snotting and crying. I just can't believe it. But at the end of the day, and this is what I always say, at the end of the day, I have to sleep with myself. I have to go to bed with myself. It's not about the people. And if I can close my eyes and feel like I gave the very best that I could give in this scenario, I'm at peace with myself, even if people are not happy with me. You know what I'm saying? That's the degree that I'm giving. But then where I am right now is all of that I've been given to A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Baby, I'm going to give it to myself first. And A, B, C, D, E, F, and G gets my overflow, not my basic abundance.
Well, this is something I'm learning.
No, and I'm just telling you that's where I am. I'm not telling you that's the way to be. I'm just telling you that's where I am. I'm gonna have abundance given to Regina first, and y'all can get the overflow. But I'm done giving y'all everything I got, and then going over in the corner and getting a little snippet of the crumb from the pie, and the pie is gone. I'm done with that.
Yes, I know that you're not saying that I'm saying anything wrong, but I have the same sentiment as you, and I would like to be where you are. But I think that I'm not quite there yet. And so I'm learning how to do that, not give away so much. Actually give that amount to myself
first.
And like you said, first. And then like you said, whatever is the overflow, then that's when you give out. And I think that it's an important lesson to learn, because I think that's how a lot of people end up feeling depleted, end up feeling used, end up feeling alone, because they're giving, and they give everything and don't get anything back. And not that it's about getting anything back, but it's about learning, yourself first. It's like, when you're on the plane and, the little things come down, they always say, give yourself the oxygen first,
right,
before you try to help somebody, because, you've been passed out trying to help somebody and both of y'all dead. And that's kind of where, how did you learn that?
You know what? From experience, and I'll say this: you said you don't get anything back. I literally had some situations. Now, I had folk that were just they should have been gone a long time ago. When y'all were talking earlier, I didn't say nothing. I gave 4, 5, 6, 20, 30, 90, 100, 100 fold. I gave all kind of chances. I've been there.
And I think that you attract these type of people until you learn the lesson.
Until you learn the lesson. Now, once I got beyond that point, I did have worse situations where giving back. But this is what I learned. And so it was like, people can't give what they don't have themselves. You know what I'm saying? And so I had to look at myself and say, people want more from me than I can give, not because I don't have it, but I've already given it away to this person, this person, this person, and this person, and I'm empty. So that by the time you come and pour what you have in me, it's not going to fill my cup because my cup got a hole in it. You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? My cup has a hole in it. But it wasn't that people weren't coming and pouring into my cup. But because I had already given beyond the point of bankruptcy, what you're putting in my cup is not enough. And not only are you putting in my cup, you're also demanding, and I mean demanding in return that I fill your cup when my cup is empty. There ain't nothing there. So at the end of the day, it's just that whole element where I had to learn empty people cannot feed and take care of empty people.
Oh Lord, this
two halves don't make a whole. You need a whole and a whole to make a whole. You understand what I'm saying? You can't take two half broken people or two half broken types of relationship and get something out of that. But everybody's wanting to withdraw from the bank account when the bank account is bankrupt. So I had to come to a point of understanding I'm going to always be bankrupt because people are always calling. People are always knocking on my door. People are always pulling. If I go to the hotel, the maid in the restaurant is knocking on my door saying, can I come in and clean your room? And then having a massive withdrawal from my bank account. And so, at some point of emptiness and at some point of brokenness and realizing nobody's going to fill this hole unless I fill it. I'm going to have to stop this gap. And the only way I can stop this gap is to patch it up myself with my own love for myself instead of giving it to everybody else first. And so, I got to give it to myself first and y'all get my overflow. You don't get the essence and the substance of who I am. You get my overflow. I had to learn that. And what I found when I stopped that gap, when I sealed up the hole, then not only did I have enough for me, but I genuinely had overflow that didn't leave me feeling depleted, sad, and sometimes mad and resentful, really. And that's the truth.
Yes. I think something that I struggle with is that I feel like I've been through a lot up to this point. And I feel like I've made it out of a lot up to this point. So when I meet somebody or see somebody who are going through the things that I've been through, I just feel an immense amount of, I feel just like a grave urge to help people or to try to, give people what I feel like I have now, because I literally can see where you are and I know what it takes to get to a place where you're okay. But it's like what you said, you can't heal somebody. Like they really have to be the ones to heal themselves.
Right.
And so I think that's something that I'm learning now, to not throw myself in there and just I'll help you, I'll heal you, because it's not my journey, it's theirs. Even though we are sharing, we've gone through the same things. Yeah. I can't go through it for them.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I started telling people, and it wasn't just trying to be a throw off, but people are actually looking to another individual to make them happy. And I'm like, but happiness comes from inside yourself. If you're not happy, I can't make you happy. I can break my neck. I can do everything under the sun within my power. But if you're unhappy on the inside, I cannot make you happy. But I was trying. And so you finally get to this point where even the trying is so exhausting and overwhelming that it's like, I just can't do it. I just can't, I just can't. So I think that, again, those experiences are like, it teaches you, that taught me, and not just a matter of saying that to others in my life, but saying that to myself, coming to that reality. Okay, light bulb moment, the aha moment, as Oprah Winfrey says. Happiness comes from inside yourself. Somebody else can't make you happy. So, and to put somebody in a position of trying to make them make you happy is almost unjust and unfair to the person that you're trying to make you happy. So it's like, happiness comes from the inside. If you're not happy, it's not because I'm making you unhappy. You're unhappy because something inside of you is unhappy. Let's deal with those realities. You can't make me happy. If it's not going down for me, it's because something on the inside of me is unhappy. I can't project that out and onto you. That's the way I learned it about myself and my experience. And so I began to realize, if happiness comes from inside of me and I'm unhappy, and people don't want to believe that. I mean, you can, just because I'm a preacher doesn't make me happy. That's what I do. That's not who I am. So at the end of the day, it's like, and I know a lot of unhappy preachers, believe me. So at the end of the day, it's like, when I learned that lesson, that if it's not coming from inside of myself and I can't make my own self happy, Houston, there is a problem. Let me back that thing up and turn that thing around, and let's figure out how and what does Regina need to do to make Regina happy, and stop asking people and things and scenarios and situations to make me happy, because y'all can't make me happy. That comes from inside of myself, which means I got to serve and feed and take care of myself first.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a hard lesson for most people to understand and get. But once you get it, I think it changes your whole life.
Oh, it's a life changer. It's a transformer.
It's a transfer. It's a reboot for real. For real.
It's a reboot. It's a reboot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thank you as an older giver for bestowing wisdom unto me, so that I can.
I love where you are. I wish, you start talking about your 10-year ago self, 20-year ago self. I wish I had been as advanced as you are at your age and stage. I really congratulations, because your progress and where you are is phenomenal. Where Shelly is phenomenal. And so I applaud you all. I wish that I had been at your age at the stage where you are. I think it's beautiful. So that means you're going to eclipse and go further than I am, which makes me even happier. Or you have the potential to go so much further than I am. That makes me really happy.
Well, I'm grateful to have great examples and people in my life like you, who, you address the stuff, and you show and you say things like, man, if I just could have done this, if you get this in your mind, and it gets you to thinking about it, and you kind of develop it at an earlier stage. So I'm grateful. I really am. So we're going to end the podcast with our last segment. And actually our segment is called Turn That Thing Around.
Turn that thing around. Turn that thing around. Hold on, Lena.
Okay, go ahead. We're missing Shelly Welly, but Shelly Welly is alive and well in the comments. So, there we go. Okay, there we go. Turn that thing around.
Turn that thing around. I had to find it, girl. I done got on here, got to talking and chatting and carrying on, and forgot what it was. Yeah.
Wow, it's all right.
Wow.
All right. Our third musketeer is in the comments. Okay, and so let me explain. She's actually gonna hit us with the questions this time, but turn that thing around is basically about turning your perspective around, changing your perspective. If you can see some of the walls and issues in your life as something to get over and something positive, nothing can break you and nothing can keep you away. So the point of this game is to see the negative things in a positive way. Now, Shelly has prepared some questions for me, and so I'm going to hear the scenarios, and I'm going to try to turn that thing around.
Turn it, girl. Turn it.
If you keep your sight.
I thought,
and you got to turn around just like that. You can't just do no granny turn at 5 miles an hour. No, you got to ram that. You got to turn that thing all the way around.
Turn it around, girl. Turn it around. Come on here.
Shelly says she's ready, so we're gonna wait for the first scenario. We ready too, Shelly?
Okay, here we go.
And I'm gonna see the pot. You can't listen. Hey, I'm really good at this. I can see the positive in every situation. I literally, if something bad happens in my life, and sometimes I get stuck, yes. But if something bad happens in my life, I'm like, why did that happen? What was that for?
That's true.
I look for the positive. Okay, so
that is true. Okay,
so Shelly says, so boom, you're deleted. Okay, this is the first scenario. You've deleted all of your messages. Oh, Shelly is a mess. Okay, let me read it. You've deleted all of your messages, photos, and thrown out your memory. This is hilarious. And thrown out your memories with someone, and then they call you up and want you back. Turn it around. Now, what's so funny about this? Because a few podcasts back, Shelly got on my back because I said I didn't delete anybody's messages or any of my past relationship messages, photos, or anything. So she said I needed to delete it. So that's why I'm laughing so hard. Okay. Okay. So they deleted, they call me back and they want you back. Turn around. Well, first of all, am I single? That's the question one. If I'm single and they are somebody who's if they come with me and they say, I've grown, I'm so sorry about the things I've done. I didn't realize what I had at the time. Let me take you out. Let me show you that I'm a changed man. I've been going to church. I've been cooking and cleaning, and I realize that I want you in my life, and I'll do whatever it is to get you back. Then turn that thing around. That might be your man. Now, let's say that he is not. Let's say that he's the opposite and he's just the same and a little worse. And he ain't cleaning, he ain't cooking, and he ain't trying to take you out. He's trying to get you to take him out. I'm gonna turn that thing around. I'm gonna say, you know what? If he's calling me, I'm gonna say, bow your head, and he's gonna say, huh? And I'm gonna say, bow your head, close your eyes, and we're gonna pray. And I'm gonna pray for him, and I'm gonna pray for his deliverance. But I'm gonna tell him I won't be a part of the journey. AG just taught me you can't give when you're depleted. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna pray for that beautiful man. I'm gonna tell him, your wife is out there. It just ain't me, and we're gonna keep it going.
Come on, girl. You better prophesy. Tell the truth.
I turned that thing around.
Turn that thing around.
Get your ass on. You're doing too much. It's a reason why we're not together. That's what I would tell them. It's a reason. So you need to go ahead and figure it out.
Oh, Jesus, come on. That's that.
That's that. It's that. I'm sorry.
That's that.
And exactly, Shelly. Well, he's toxic. Let me tell you something. Toxic relationships. Have you ever known a poison if you have it and then 2 years later it's not poison? No, it's poison until it ain't poison. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's poison. It's toxic. Your body can't digest it. No, don't do it. What's next, Shelly? I'm ready. I'm in the mood. You got to turn that thing around.
Preach, Lena.
Because you know what? We sit and wait for people to change. This is what we do. We break up because people tell you, you know what you do? Break up with that person, let him see what he lost, and he'll get himself together. So we be sitting around 2 or 3 years later waiting for somebody to change, and they ain't doing nothing.
I've seen that. I've seen that.
You've seen it. I've done it. Don't do it to yourself. Okay. Here's the next one. You got a really great paying job offer, but it would leave you very little time to work on your hobbies or passion. Turn it around. That's a good one for me. This is what I'm going to say. This is how you turn it around. We have bills. We're grown. You have to take care of yourself. You got a car. You got a rent. You got all these bills. What you do is work the job, save the money. And once you get to a point to where you don't need to work the job, save the money like Lisa Nichols, then you go back and you start to get onto the hobbies or the passions. Because really the hobbies and the passions are probably what is going to be what you feel like is what you actually want to do. So the thing about a passion is that it doesn't matter, how, at what stage you do it, you can still, be successful at it. So whatever it is this year, it's going to be the same thing 2 years later. So, even though you feel like an urgency to do it, you need the money. That's just the way that's how this world works. You need the money. So I would say work it, save your money. And in 2 or 3 years, you'll have enough money saved up to where you can do exactly what you want to do. And that's how you turn that thing around. That's what I would say. Yes.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Because you know what? Just take a little bit of time and work on your hobbies and just get better and better. Once you get to that point where you can actually do it, you're going to be bomb. Tina Turner, I don't think her career got a really good turnaround. I think she was like in her late 40s or 50s.
Yeah.
When she turned around. So it's never too late. That's all I'm trying to say. What's next?
I think my guy Freeman Morgan was like in his 50s when he got his first big break and did anything. And so he was a clerk. He actually, a typing clerk in the office. He talks about the different jobs that he had and just couldn't get it. But eventually when it hit.
Wow, that's amazing. That's another testament. Time, even though you feel like you're getting older, your time is going to be your time.
Mm-hmm.
So just press forward. Do what you have to do. Okay, the third one is you are finally in the future and you meet future you. Okay. She's not who you imagine yourself to be. Oh, turn it around. This one's hard. So like if you get to the future and right now I have all these plans and 10 years later I still have the plans. I don't have the fruitions. It's still just plans and I've probably been through some more stuff. Okay. The turn that thing around is, God don't put more on you than you can bear. That's number one. Number two is when you have really difficult things you're trying to work through and it's taking a much longer time, just consider and think about once you finally get there, how great and big it's gonna feel so good. You do 2 push-ups and you're like, okay, I'm done working out. You're like, okay, it doesn't really give you any type of euphoric feeling. But if you do an hour and a half of workup and you struggle through that thing and you sweat and you pant and you got to take breaks and you call on Jesus 7 times. Once you finally get done with that workout, you're going to feel euphoric. You're going to be like, man, I made it through. I done burned some calories. God is good. Let's go eat. Well, you shouldn't eat after the workout. But I'm saying when it's a big thing that you're working yourself through, it once you finally get it, even if it's not on the timeline you place for yourself, if it's in God's time and it take a little longer, once you finally get there, you're gonna appreciate that thing. Like let's say I wanted to buy a house, so I'm 28. I wanted to buy a house before I turn 38. I don't have the house. Once I get that house in 48, I'm gonna take care of that house. That house is gonna be in tip-top shape because I've waited and I've sacrificed for so long for this house. Once I finally get it. Oh, y'all gonna know this is my house. Oh, y'all gonna know it's gonna be pristine. It's gonna be in pristine care. Go ahead. What's the next one? I turned that thing around.
You turned it around, baby. You turned it around. You turned it. You turned it.
It's God's time, not your time. That's what we gotta learn.
Say it.
We didn't make this world. We just in it. That means that we trying to put timelines on stuff, and it wasn't for us to determine the time.
Let the Lord use you, Lena.
You gotta listen. And steadfast. And let God work.
Let him work.
And once he does,
what happens, Lena?
You're gonna shout and you're gonna be so happy and you're gonna be grateful, and that interest rate is gonna be so much lower than it would have been.
Hi, you better ask somebody.
If it was up to you, you better thank God for what he's doing.
Thank you. Come on.
What's the next one? Here's the next one. Shelly, here's what it says. This next one was about the Olympics. Okay. I know they're older, but I still want to hear what you think. I'm ready, Shelly. Okay. Simone Biles cannot perform her supreme stunt because other gymnasts would be injured trying to attempt them. We know what she did. What would you do? Turn it around. Okay. So basically she's superb. She's at this level. Everybody's at this level. They're not letting her perform because everybody's here. She's here. She gets, this is how you turn that thing around. The Olympics are great. I think they're amazing. It's amazing to be an Olympian. She's already an Olympian. Why don't she start her own Olympics? She could do whatever. It's gonna be up to her to what fields and what jumps she does and what she could do her own and show everybody that she's at this level. Like people suppress you because they don't understand your greatness and they're not there. So you don't let them do that. You start your own, create your own table. That's simple as that. Create your own table and do that supreme jump and let the folks know. Put it on YouTube. We'll share it, Simone,
Mm.
and let the folks know that you out here. That's your gift.
Yeah.
God gave you that jump, and nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
You jump,
jump,
you jump, you flip, you do what you got to do.
Do it.
That's what I say.
I like that. And what I do like about it is that you took the initiative to create something new instead of having a sense of what they won't allow and what they won't celebrate and what they won't. Just go ahead and make your own. And I think
your own.
That's a mindset that I think that we really need to embrace instead of crying about what they would not do. Make your own, do it, get it out there and watch it flourish.
Right. So Shelly says she sat out. They told her they wouldn't trade her because the other gymnast would be injured if they attempted her stunt. So she said, "Deuces." Yeah. That's what I would say. Like, I can't deal with this mediocreness. Okay, I don't know. That's a word. Mediocrity. I can't deal with it. I'm supreme. I have these visions and I have these thoughts, and I want to get it out. And y'all won't let me do it. Why? It doesn't make any sense. And if I was Olympics, I would go, because you know what? You're gonna always have limitations on your life. It's gonna always be something that's gonna limit you. It's up to you to press forward and do what you need to do to get to where you know and see yourself at. Simple as that.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. WandaVision is in the house. Good afternoon, LaWanda Baskerville. WandaVision is here, and we love you. All kinds of mod love coming to you from the Diamond Squad. Thank you, Shelly. You got the next one queued up. Here we go.
Okay, Shelly says the last one. She said the Lovers and Friends Fest is sold out 2 whole days. Jesus Christ. So you show up to Lovers and Friends, and after paying $500 for VIP, the whole show is just a band playing covers of all the artists. Turn that thing around.
Rebel said, boo.
Exactly. Like, what? I done paid all my money to see Usher, and it ain't Usher, it's Usher. I'm mad as hell. This is what I would do. You done pay $500 for VIP, which means you got some alcohol to come with it. I know how it goes. They got you a few bottles. I would get so intoxicated. I drink the whole bottle. Let's do it. Let's have a good time. If these artists are not the real artists, they're gonna sound like the real artists tonight to me.
Because you're too drunk to tell.
I'm too drunk to tell. Matter of fact, that one looks like Usher. Yes, I'm going to drink and I'm gonna have a good time. They got me. Congratulations on your marketing team, because they got me, because I sure thought the real artist was gonna be here. Congratulations to you. I'm here, but I'm about to have a good time, because you know what? I've spent my money. I came here, Lovers and Friends. Usher, John and Luda about to do it again. So I would just, have a good time, drink, meet some new people. I'll be like, did y'all know that this wasn't the real artist? Okay. So they got y'all too. Okay. And did y'all know? So maybe start a petition. Go to usually the people who are collecting the money in the back or at the door. Go talk to them. Tell them you want your money back, or at least half, because they got you. That's what I would say. But I would just have a good time and chalk it up. You got. It's easy with all this marketing now, because you can buy tickets off of Facebook. You can buy tickets from everywhere. It's easy. But next time, I would just read the fine print. It's not actually Usher and John and Luda. It's actually a cover band that we're only paying, $200, and we're keeping all the money. Hey. That's what I would do.
Shelly said, I'd be hot. She said she'd be hot.
Listen, what can you do at that point? You could call somebody, write a letter, call corporate, let them know, this isn't right, and y'all shouldn't be tricking people like this. But in that moment, I'm not about to be upset. Why is I done paid $500 for this boo? No, I'm not about to be upset right now. I'll be upset later. I'm gonna enjoy these cover bands. That's what I'm gonna do. Revelation, I'm calling Ben Crump.
Damages. That's funny.
Hilarious. Yeah. And that's today's edition of turn that thing around. See the positive in every negative situation. And once you learn to do that and you learn to adjust to things, nothing can stop you. Turn that thing around.
There you go.
Thank you, Shelly, for the dope questions. You got me. Shelly, you know, you kind of good at that. That was good. That first one took me out. I was like, okay, I see what's going on here. Well, we want to thank y'all for joining us today. We thank y'all for commenting, everybody in the comments and getting into this conversation with us. We love to talk about rebooting. Reboot the things in your life so that you can continue to grow, get to where you actually want to be. And you know, we learn it from the past. We live in the present, and we planning for the future. Yeah. And that's what life is about. So we want to thank y'all, and thank you, Shelly, for the questions. And Jean, thank you for having us on this platform.
Love you. I love it, and I love what you guys are doing. Only place we're going is higher and higher. Hey. DJ Khaled, hi. Do you know that higher? I love it. I love it. DJ Khaled, we the best music.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, it's good.
Another one. I didn't know you was a DJ Khaled fan, ain't Jean?
Oh, I love higher. I love higher. Okay. I do.
I'm gonna have to go listen to it.
I'm gonna have to send you the clip. It'll bless your bones. It'll bless your whole body, your mind, your soul, your spirit, emotions, everything. It'll bless you real good. Lawanda, thank you so much for checking in with us from the Diamond Mod Squad. We're so glad to have you. And to everybody that came to reBOOT, we appreciate you. And Lena, I'm gonna let you wrap it up.
Yes, come on back. Friday at 2 p.m. next week, we will be here live and well. And we want to have y'all. Thank y'all for coming. And we will see y'all next week.
Here we go. Here we go. I love you. Bye. I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lena. You did a great job.
Thank
Shelly
you.
Welly, you did a great job out there, girl.
Thank you, Shelly.
Thank you. We love you. Go to that reBOOT page on Facebook. If you have some questions that you'd like for us to address, some things you want presented in the topic section of our talking points, please go to Facebook, reBOOT this. That's where it is. reBOOT this in the groups page. And please go ahead and give us that drop and interact with us, not just on Fridays at 2:00, but you got a chance to interact with us all the time. Shelly Will is in there. Lena Will is in there. We have a great time. It's a brand new page up, but listen, you guys have been coming on like gangbusters. I want to say thank you to everybody that has signed up for the page so far. It happened so fast. It was just marvelous. I appreciate your enthusiasm. Keep coming. And listen, y'all, get these young folk in here because we want to have this conversation. Janae, it was so good to see you in here today. Every time the young folks come in. Sister Willingham, it was good to see you in here as well, my friend. Thank you for the young folks that are coming in, along with these older heads like myself and others. We have designed this platform for you, and we want to see you here. We want to hear what you have to say. Love and desire your participation. To everybody that's out there, I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Much love.
Growth, reBOOT, longevity, reBOOT, understanding, reBOOT, and integrity. Me, you, reBOOT, we on the road, reBOOT, grass, reBOOT, self-discovery. Got a lot to learn in this life, and I'm excited. Gonna do it, my people, like mine. reBOOT, what you gonna reBOOT when you need reBOOT? What you gonna reBOOT? reBOOT, a reBOOT, a reBOOT.